Hey guys, this is Arbobone, and this is your threat report of the week. This is a series I will be doing weekly, which covers a wide range of cybersecurity events and topics that occur throughout the week. This might include updates to past attacks, new attacks, and important announcements/alerts, and other such topics. This week's threat report will be covering the SKT Telecom data breach, the Coinbase data breach, the LummaC2, also known as LummaC2, having its domains removed by Microsoft with the help of federal agencies from around the world, and a warning about fake AI tools that affect your computer with info stealers and Trojans. These types of attacks are only a small portion of the known and unknown attacks happen on a weekly basis against our cyberspace, which impact us all in some way, whether that be for our future knowledge or to help our cybersecurity professionals implement new security features to keep us safe and protected. With the introductions out of the way, let's get right into our first story, which comes from Korea, where SKT had a data breach in which almost all their customer data, roughly 27 million customers, had their ISMI and USIM data compromised. The stolen ISMI and USIM numbers are used for identifying who is using a phone and allows for them to authenticate who they are. With the breach, it could allow for unauthorized access to your account or allow for SIM swapping attacks to occur. This has had a severe impact on Korean society due to how their phone is your life. You make payments on your phone. Your ID is now getting associated with your phone due to the Korean government launching a new digital ID system. You do your banking on a phone and you can use it as a key to enter buildings or even to start up your car. In Korea, people are scared of losing their phone over their wallet due to how impactful it is on their daily lives, which is quite the cultural shock when looking into this subject due to how here in America, if you lose your phone, it just sucks. But nobody wants to lose their wallets due to it having their cards and IDs in it, while in Korea, phones are their backbones to their society. Another impact the SKT data breach has had on its customers is that of the banking system. As of right now, banks have implemented more security verifications for SKT customers to confirm who they are. This can be done using facial ID to verify their identity before being able to use online banking features. Lastly, the breach itself started back on June 15th, 2022, and was only found on April 22nd, 2025. This is nearly 3 years of malware being ran on the servers without being attacked. As of right now, we don't know what type of malware was used, but it's more than likely some sort of information stealer being used that is obfuscating its data to blend in with the other data being sent out so that it wouldn't get noticed. As of right now, SKT is promising to give all customers new SIM card, and they are saying that while the ISMI and USIM numbers were stolen, they should not have any ability to clone your phone or impact your information at all, and they will take full responsibility if information does come out. Our next event is that of the Coinbase data breach, which has major real-world implications due to how the breach leaked customer addresses, customer names, phone numbers, email addresses, and the main issue at hand is that it showed off their current balance and transaction history. But before we jump the gun on the implications it has on the real world, let us look at how this attack happened. This attack occurred back in December of 2024 and wasn't discovered until May 15th of 2025. The cause of the breach was due to Coinbase employees being bribed by the attackers to access and send sensitive data over to them, leading to roughly 69,500 customers being impacted by the breach. This attack reminds us that we must have safeguards against internal threats and need to be evaluating the access policies to ensure the safety of our data, as we sometimes forget about the monitoring of employee data and internal threats when compared to external threats. Now let us get back to the real impact of this attack, which will be if customers get attacked due to the attackers knowing their locations and their balance. This could lead to them getting kidnapped or robbed, as when it has happened in the past with Ledger, another cryptocurrency wallet, in which its customers' data got breached. Attacks happened to those affected customers, or when the popular Twitch streamer Imminent was attacked at her house by 3 robbers trying to steal her crypto wallet. The data breach of Coinbase should be a warning to every company about how dangerous insider threats can be, but also to the physical security of your customers when dealing with sensitive data that can be used against them. Another important cyber event that happened this week was the actions Microsoft and federal agencies from around the world took against LummaC2, and InfoStealer, in which they are able to take down roughly 2,300 C2 domains, which was used to collect stolen data from the infected user. LummaC2 used command and control, a tool set used for communications from compromised computers to that of the attacker servers or domains. For LummaC2, that is roughly 2,300 domains, but how would LummaC2 send the stolen data back to domains without being caught? they would use a process called hollowing. Hollowing consists of injecting a malicious payload into a legitimate system process by pausing/suspending that process memory to inject it with its malicious payload so it looks like a legitimate service is running instead of adding a service that could be flagged as malicious. Now this next part gets interesting, especially if you use Steam like I do. So when LummaC2 wants to send data back to the C2 domain, it will choose from its Tier 1 and Tier 2 domains. With Tier 1 domains, it could be set up as a public or a personal domain that you would have ownership of, and these were the main domains that were used. But if it fails to connect or send data back to the Tier 1, it will then try and send it out to its Tier 2 domains, which consisted of first trying to use Telegram, but if that failed, it would then use Steam profiles to send back the stolen data to the attackers. With all that being said, Microsoft, with the help of international agencies, struck back against LummaC2, causing the loss of 2,300 domains, as stated earlier, and they are able to seize roughly 1,300 domains for purposes of putting them into Microsoft sinkholes. These actions helped investigators with the help of Microsoft to discover that roughly 400,000 Windows computers were infected by LummaC2. While this was a victory for Microsoft and for federal agencies across the world, this does not mean the end of LummaC2 or its developers, as they are still at large, which means they can work on trying to recover from the situation by creating new domains or by the creation of new malware altogether. Lastly, I have a PSA about using these so-called free AI tools that generate AI videos that you can find online or in advertisements. As AI is becoming more popular when it comes to generating content, whether it be from trying to generate pictures or by videos, malicious threat actors try and take advantage of this situation by offering up these free services, by creating their own websites and make them look professionally made so that you use their software to install malware. They do this by asking their users to upload an image or type in a prompt that will generate an AI video. Once this happens, they are asked to download the zip file. Within the zip file, it will try to fool you by using a Unicode characters to make it look like you're only running an MP4, but in reality, what you are doing is running an exe that gets executed, which installs both new little file and xworm onto your computer. New little file is an information stealer that will try and steal your cookies, crypto wallets, and other sensitive data off your computer, while xworm works as a remote access Trojan to gain access control over your computer, and it would also help it to steal even more of your data by keylogging, clipboard monitoring, and be able to capturing your screen and send it back to its servers. These types of attacks are on the rise due to the popularity of AI-generated content on the internet. So please, if you are going to use an AI-generated content maker, make sure it's from a trusted source and not just something you find online, because you never know if it could be malware in disguise of a legitimate service. This concludes the first threat report of the week, which covered the topics of SKT data breach, which affected the ISMI and USIM of cell phones within Korea, the Coinbase data breach, which has real-world implications to the customer base, LummaC2 having been dealt a major blow by Microsoft and federal agencies from around the world, and finally a PSA about using fake AI tools that may have malware attached to them. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any recommendations or suggestions as to what you might want to see for next week, please make a comment. If you disliked the video, let me know why you disliked it so I might improve on it for the future.